Let's start with Matthew Schaefer here. He is a left-handed defenseman. He is in the OHL with the Erie Otters. Played in 17 games this year, 22 points, 7 goals, 15 assists. For myself, I put my strengths and weaknesses, and I think we could get into these in a little bit more detail. I also included rankings. So elite prospects, Bob McKenzie, Craig Button, McKean's Hockey, Daily Faceoff, and Dauber prospects all have him ranked as the number one guy. Where do you stand, Mitch, on Matthew Schaefer as a potential option for the New York Islanders?
A great player. Obviously a really great player. Had, again, like you said, 22 points in 17 games in the OHL this year for Erie, 2 points in 2 games for Canada at the World Juniors. But injuries, man. Injuries really kind of killed him this year. And that, I'm going to go right to the negative. This is the one thing that sticks in my mind. That bothers me a bit. He also kind of came out of nowhere. I know Avi said that on the Patreon where I was talking about being a sapsucker. And just 17 points in 56 games last year, and now over a point per game. It's possible that it's natural that he just it just clicked this year. But that combined with the fact that the injuries are there, I worry a little bit about him. But when you've seen him play, you saw that skating. There are some clips out there where it's a little, maybe a little bit bogus in terms of what they're talking about. But the other clips, there's more positive than negative in terms of his skating stride, his four-way mobility, his ability to find seams, his aggressiveness too, like his decision-making in terms of finding holes and going for it and charging forward and being that defenseman who drives and creates offense from the blue line is huge for a team looking for that. And I don't want to make it seem like that's not what the Islanders are, but I feel like we're not in the same boat as some other teams, which is, again, another knock, I would say. But that's where I'm at right now with Matthew Schaefer. What about you?
I totally get the injury concern. I think that's valid. And that's one of the things that I would put on the cons list is because we saw the breakout, but it was only 17 games. Mm-hmm. And he's a good player. And if the Islanders stick and take him, I don't think we should be upset with that. I think you could have preferences, obviously, when we talk about all three of these guys. But I'll start more with the pros. Skating was the first thing that stood out to me. I think he is an elite level puck moving defenseman with how he moves. And I also had a note that his vision on the ice, like I think he plays with good anticipation. That's how I would describe it. Like he kind of sees a play developing maybe before like the defense does. And sure, that's going to be harder going up to the next level. But I think his elite skating and transition game could be a really big help for the Islanders, who they struggle with that. We've talked a lot this year about the Islanders not being a good team in transition, and part of the reason why they struggled.
Yeah, absolutely. Because outside of Noah Dobson, who do they really have as a transitional defenseman? Mike Riley, I suppose, which is no knock on Mike Riley. Obviously, it's just you can't only have two guys being able to lug the puck going forward, especially when Matthew Barzal wasn't here most of the year, or Mike Riley for that fact. So you got only Noah Dobson, who also missed time, and then forget it. You've got no one really to lug the puck forward. Obviously, some players did, but they just can't do it well, and so it really does kind of leave you in a lurch when you only have the one guy. So having another player do that opens up so many more, opens up 40 minutes of transitional abilities instead of just 20 minutes.
Exactly, and I know that there's been some discussions of, well, if you take Schaefer, then maybe you package Noah Dobson in a trade and get back up, and you could take James Hagens at another point in the draft in the top 5. I don't even want to get into that specifically tonight, but looking at something that'd be a positive, if Noah Dobson stays, I think a top pair of Schaefer and Dobson could be really special, honestly, with their puck moving ability.
I would split them up.
Okay.
I would absolutely split them up. Give Noah someone like Romy and give Schaefer someone like Ryan Pulock. You spread out that transitional ability, and you don't have to rely on someone not being good defensively like Noah Dobson and someone not yet good defensively like Matthew Schaefer, right? Because he's not gonna be good defensively year one. It's just not gonna happen. Until you leave, he's not gonna be good defensively for a couple of years. You leave yourself wide open in that regard. So to me, I split them up. But if you want to put them together, that's fine. Let them cook, right?
Yeah, maybe that's more of a down the line thing. Like once once Schaefer gets up to speed defensively, my thought is, I think Schaefer as a prospect is better defensively than what Noah Dobson was at the time of when he was drafted. And with every defenseman, I think it's going to take time going to the next level to get that game up. But my thought process here is, if it plays out the way that you hope with a number 1 overall defenseman, is that he is a good two-way defenseman, and you can rely on him a little bit more. And it's not like Noah Dobson has to be your number 1, but he could play second fiddle, and hopefully, again, it's just a pair that is good in the transition game and gets more flowing the other way.
And maybe you can run a power play.
I hope so.
Because Noah Dobson has not filled himself with graces in terms of his power play abilities. I'm sure he would argue that it's not all up to him, and he's got a point to that. But when he's out there, the power play isn't really cooking. And again, there's 5 players out there, not just him, but he's not the guy, it seems. Maybe Schaefer can do that.
Yeah, I hope so, because the Islanders' power play has been a major issue. I would think his skill set bodes well for the power play. Like, I would imagine that eventually he's going to be a power play guy. Yeah. It certainly couldn't hurt, because we've seen the power play the Islanders have ran out there, and Dobson's been the quarterback of the power play for a few years now, and it hasn't really worked.
Yeah. Another positive here for Matthew Schaefer is his age. He's 17 years old, will only turn 18 in 4 months as of 2 days ago. Like, he just misses the cutoff for next year's draft by, I think it's 2 weeks or something, I heard. It's insane.
Yeah, it's close. He's a late birthday, so he's young, very young.
Exactly. So that means you're getting someone now, and he's going to be here for basically feels like you get an extra year out of him than other players, which also then means he's maybe a little bit more raw right now than other players.
Yeah, and then when you add on top of that the games that he missed this year too, he won't have as much experience as some of these other guys. So I had a couple other notes that were things that he needed to work on for me. I think he can get a little bit stronger at his size. What did I say? He's 6'2", 183. So he's not a small defenseman, but I think there were times where he got pushed around a little bit, and I think he just needs to put on some mass. And I think his shots just average. I know he scored 7 goals in 17 games, which is like, I'm not saying that he's not, like, he can't score goals. I'm not saying he's Adam Pelech at the next level going to have 3 goals a season, but it's not like Cale Makar going to score 30 goals in a season, in my opinion, with his shot. I think that's not what I would consider special about him. His skating and his vision is what makes him a special prospect.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't see as you said, Cale Makar there. I've heard that come up a few times, and I don't see it. Maybe they're just specifically looking at the skating, I guess. But even that, I don't necessarily see it. I'm trying to find how many shots he had this year. He obviously, it's not going to be that many because he's only played 17 games. But if I could find it here on NHL, not NHL, but OHL.com, it's going to take me a second because, again, he's only played 17 games. I should flip it the other way, right? Instead of finding the most, find the least.
That might be easier. Or a little control F action and search the name. Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. So it might take me a second here, but I also don't think he's one of those like high shooting players who's going to give you like, I don't know, 3 shots a night type of thing. But that's okay though. He doesn't need to just be that. He doesn't need to excel in every single aspect of the game, right? You're not drafting the best player to do everything under the sun. You're drafting the best possible player in that year. And he might very well be that, at least according to just about every outlet. And that could help the Islanders immensely.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.